Welcome everyone to your intro video for December 17th to the 23rd of 2018. This will be, I'm not going to do all 12 signs like this, like I usually do a recorded video, but it will be an audio tarot upload, and each sign will have their own. But for all of you, there will be access to the audio tarot or recorded videos as private readings, but the phone call option is still not an option just yet. It might open up soon, but not just yet. For the week, here you go. Much love to you, much light. I wish you the best, and have a good one. Welcome, Taurus, to your love reading for December 17th to the 23rd of 2018. Now this I have a lot of cards here. Now as I'm shuffling the cards, when a lot pop out, I try not to place them back in, so I'm gonna just leave them here. So the overall energy of you this week is the Two of Swords in reverse, and then you have Judgment. A lot of you are really trying your best to move forward. Now this could be reevaluating somebody, like you're running over certain questions that you have with another person, whether or not to take them back, what's going to happen if you do, what happens if you move on, how are we going to work out this arrangement. Now some of these could be court matters or legal matters that you're waiting for or pending for some of you out there. Scorpio is there, but I feel like this is a energy of making a decision to move forward, because it seems like you know something about someone, or they know something about you, because we have the person coming towards you. It's the Six of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. Either two things where some of you, or if that person is coming back to give you something, either something that you owe, something that you feel like you deserve, or there's something there with children as well, where they might be connected to you because of children. Now if they do come back and you feel like, you know, hey, they're around because of the child that we have together, be careful of moving into that connection just because of that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I'm saying that you have to kind of make sure the judgment call is showing up here, because there needs to be a big decision that you move forward away from. And it seems like a lot of you, it might cause a lot of resentment, you know, emotions that kind of come to the surface where you don't feel like something is right. You feel like something is off, because the Knight of Cups is in reverse, and that is an energy of wanting to express, wanting to show your love to somebody, but not really feeling like you're able to do it, either because that person has moved on, and it could be, you know, a past person. That's what it seems like to me. And you know, where we maybe get a little bit jealous, or we try to ask a lot of questions, but we might not really want to bring up that topic because you don't really have the space to do it, because maybe that person has moved on, or you have moved on. There's something like that going on. That's what I get a sense of here. And even though we're Temperance showing up, that's the response from the person that you're dealing with. And I feel like that person knows that you have a lot to say. They knows that you might not be all that happy with maybe their decision or what they might be going through. And as well, some of you are definitely dealing with someone who's dealing with another person who has a child or is an ex-partner. That's something like that that's going on for some. But I feel even though your partner or ex-partner, whoever it is, when they know that you have a lot to say, but you don't bring up the topics, they try to do their best to keep things on a level playing field, so to speak. I won't say playing field, because some of you might not feel like it's a game, but if you feel like they're going to play like that, you're kind of onto it now. And I feel like your emotions, they might really distract you. You have a lot of people showing up here. Aries had this as well. Some similar cards, not all, but the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is your it's almost like a weakness this week, because it means that you might be very emotionally distracted and maybe a bit overwhelmed as some things are pointed out to you where it comes to career. Sometimes being there's not a steady driven plan that you might be having your eyes set on. Sometimes you might feel that's the case, but then the emotions get so much of you and you get overwhelmed by it that you start to, you know, get frustrated. The complaints start to, you know, come up, and they start to overwhelm you at times. And then maybe the person that you're dealing with, they bring up these topics as well, and then there's the guilt trip, or bringing out things that make you kind of feel less than, and then that can be very frustrating and annoying, because on the back end of it, you have this King of Wands in reverse, which is the outcome, which is two things. Again, to whoever it is, it could be like this blame thing, or them really pointing out things that you aren't doing right, or things that you could do better. someone that you may have let in your life who is now, talking to someone else, who you figure out that's the truth about what's been going on. And I feel like that's the energy for a lot of you. There's conflict there because there's the energy of still holding on. Conflict, but being frustrated. You're trying to do the right thing for yourself. You're trying to get over these issues. Some of you are trying to move out and move into this newer place or newer environment to get away from whatever toxic energy that this was. You might deem it as such now because you know what it is when you're dealing with somebody. But now it's almost like you're having to work together, with the Three of Pentacles showing up and the Page of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, like working together to make a plan to say, hey, especially if you were married or you live together, we have to move on. We're making plans to separate so that we can do our own thing. For some of you, you are dealing with this King of Pentacles is in reverse, and that's usually maybe somebody in conjunction with the King of Wands. Two people potentially for some, but someone who was dealing with someone else, and they may have maybe taken something from you, kind of held back emotionally from you at times, not really letting you know what was going on, especially when it comes to a child or someone else that they have been intimate with. And that's why I feel like there's a lot of conflict and a lot of frustration. It's right next to the Three of Swords. So hidden drama, things that are not really known by other people, and it could have to do with sex. It could have to do with pregnancy or the a child, or friends as well, with the Page being there. So I feel like there's a lot that's going on right now, but ultimately the entire reading, it shows me that there's still this reevaluation of your past and trying to make sure that you don't let up on a decision that you have made to move on away from it. The plan right now seems to be a plan to disconnect so that you can find something better for you, especially financially. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would say 6, 7, maybe 7 financial cards that I would deem as such. And I feel like that's a lot of your focus. Yes, emotionally it's going to be might be in overdrive a lot, but I feel the King of Wands is a fire sign. You got earth sign here, you have a water sign that's showing up. But again, that's interesting. A lack of communication though. Barely any communication, but I feel like if it is communication coming through, that it might be strained, it might be stressing you out and the other person as well. So I feel like that's an issue of overcompensating, doing too much for the other person, or this could be some of you leaning on someone else financially for some kind of support, but when you really might not need it. Yes, someone might not need the support, but it's something, hey, that you're used to, or it's something, hey, if somebody owes you something, I feel like boundaries or something like that needs to be kept up, because you want to be careful about allowing someone back in that could potentially do the same thing over and over again. So forgiving and learning, it says, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Then we have codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life, and also let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. Especially where you did everything that you can do. You may reevaluated a whole bunch of different things about this person, or maybe 2 other people, I'm not exactly sure, but it seems to me, whoever it is, they might be, if they're coming back to you, they might be coming around because of some kind of financial thing. Whether you ask them for something, they ask you for something, they owe you something because of a child or a home environment, something like that might be there. But I feel like some kind of truth has or will come out this week, and you're still absorbing it and trying to figure out what do you want to do in a way to move forward. But with Mars and Pisces, which activates your 11th house, that does bring a lot of intensity to maybe someone who is a friend now, or friendships in general, that can pull you out and have a good time in a good way, or that can complicate things in a negative way that can annoy you. So this reading wasn't meant to be that long, but when the cards come out like that, I have to kind of speak about them in some way. But try your best to stay away from the conflict if possible, and try your best to have a great week, and much love to you again. And you can always go to the website psychicloveheals.com to schedule something for you. So have a good one.